All right.
There we
All
go.
right. Look at us. Look at us. Here we go. Here we go. I am super excited. My name is Scott Epringham, and I'm joined by Vivica von Rosen at Vengreso. And
That's it. You got all the V's right.
Now, I had some of folks on my research team just pull a couple of interesting facts I want to share with us, and then I'm going to introduce you. I'm super excited to have you. I've really been looking forward to this conversation. According to some of the latest reports, LinkedIn has almost 760 million members worldwide and 171 million users in the US out of 245 million US adults. That is a good percentage of US adults on LinkedIn. In addition to that, the average income of those like 45 or depending upon which research report you look, have $75,000 in income or better. So LinkedIn is a great place for businesses to be. In fact, HubSpot found that LinkedIn is 277% more effective at generating leads than other networking platforms that are outside of LinkedIn. So you being here, teaching us the 6 mistakes people make and what you could do right to make sure you and your company's LinkedIn investment is creating results and leads for your company. We're super excited to have you. A bit about you too. Vivica is the co-founder of Vengreso and the largest provider of full spectrum modern digital sales transformation solutions. And you are known as the LinkedIn expert. I've seen you all over LinkedIn. I was introduced to you from some of my fellow entrepreneur organization people. And they said, if you want to know about LinkedIn, you got to find and talk to Vivica. You are a big proponent of spending as little as an hour a day and absolutely exploding what people are doing on LinkedIn. And you're going to be talking to us about those things. I do want to mention that you've been featured in Forbes, Fast Company, BuzzFeed, Inc., CNN, Entrepreneur, Selling Power, and the Social Media Examiner, and a bunch of other places. So we're super excited to have you. I'm going to turn it over to you. And as we start to gather an audience, please tell me a little bit about your background, how you first got into LinkedIn. And then if we can, we'll go right into the 6 things people need to be doing on LinkedIn to do a better job attracting businesses and generating more leads. So welcome, Vivica.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I'm pretty easy to find. Literally, you just have to Google LinkedIn expert, and my LinkedIn profile should be the first or second organic thing that shows up after the ads. That's not because I'm the LinkedIn expert of the world. That's because I have LinkedIn expert in my LinkedIn URL, which is one of the things we might talk about today. And it's also my Twitter handle. So like when people go, oh, why are you a LinkedIn expert? It's like, yeah, I got the social handles, so it must be true.
Yes.
But having all the LinkedIn expert social handles means I have to keep up with things and make sure that I actually do know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I'm happy to be here. I've been teaching and training on LinkedIn for 16 years, I think. It was a fluke. I was running a co-share space at the time, owner and runner of a co-share space. And what I realized about myself is I'm really no good at managing people, but I love entrepreneurs and I love businesses and I love supporting businesses. So in one of my networking events, I brought someone in to talk about Web 2.0, which shows you how long ago it was. Like the whole idea, right? The web being interactive was a big deal. So yeah, it was like 15, 16 years ago. And my friend Lori, who was talking about Web 2.0, she brought up this thing called LinkedIn. And I'm like, ooh, that's really cool. If we have, I think there was 7 million people on LinkedIn at the time. But to me, that was a big number because we didn't have Facebook. We didn't have these crazy, insane billion number sites that we could engage with people. We might belong to an association or something like that. So the fact that LinkedIn had 7 million folks that I could potentially reach out to and do business with was a big deal. Now, obviously, we're at 700 million some 16 years later. So
yeah. And so as people are kind of thinking about LinkedIn, if they've got a B2B business or B2C, let's say B2B business, is it just for B2B? Can it be for B2C? Have you seen
Absolutely. Oh no, 100% it can. I mean, it's mostly focused on business to business. But yeah, absolutely it can be business to B2C, business to consumer, education, educators, government. Like if you're in business, basically if you're in business, LinkedIn is a great place to be. You know, and as far as engagement, you're more likely to find your whole buying committee on LinkedIn if you have bigger deals and longer lead times. But yeah, if you sell a product, you know, a $500 product, a $200 product, you can still find your clients and engage with your clients on LinkedIn. One of my favorite clients is a company called Tom James, which they're a boutique clothier. And so, you know, their average suit is somewhere between $700 and $1,200. But they regularly, their salespeople using LinkedIn regularly did, you know, between $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 just with the people that they were engaging with on LinkedIn. So it doesn't really matter what type of business you have, as long as your buyer is on LinkedIn. That's all that matters.
Got it. Got it. Now you have a presentation and you're going to be walking us through 6 things that we should be doing. And perhaps there's some things that we shouldn't be doing. Does it include some of just the table stakes, the foundational elements that we should be doing? And I'm wondering if that's something we could dive right into and get right at.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, 100%.
Awesome.
So let me know and I can share my screen.
Here we go. I will share it right now.
Excellent. There we go.
You're good to go.
And the rest of you let me know. Now I can't see myself, so that's probably a good thing. So yeah, we're going to talk about the 6 things that people do right and or people do wrong, but what you can do right to prospect better and sell more on LinkedIn. And you know what it comes down to is things are challenging, right? Especially for our brick and mortars. I mean, you've had to make huge pidgets. I haven't had enough coffee today.
Both.
You've had to make huge pivots in the past couple of years in order to keep your businesses afloat. Those of us who had virtual companies, online companies, we were a little bit better off, although there was that, you know, there was that frozen time back in 2020, March, April, May, June, where people were like not spending money because we didn't know if there was even going to be a world like 6 months from now. So I think all of us had some challenges. But what happened during that time is, yes, people were told, okay, we can't go to conferences. We can't go to trade shows. Y'all are going to have to learn how to sell online. You're all going to have to pivot your brick and mortars to online companies, and you're all going to have to figure out how to do that. And so a lot of us, I mean, fortunately, we were in the business of teaching people how to use LinkedIn for virtual selling. So we were kind of set up. But a lot of people were told, okay, you get on LinkedIn. Good luck with that. And I think one of the problems was that was basically all the feedback people got was, okay, get on LinkedIn, good luck, and get on Facebook, good luck, and get on Instagram.
And left to their own devices.
Right, get on your devices and good luck with that. For the B2B world especially, but of course for all other buyers and sellers too, they started looking at LinkedIn, but the problem was a lot of people hadn't upped their game on LinkedIn. So that's what we're going to talk about, how to up your game on LinkedIn. And it's still relevant, by the way. 75% of or 3/4 of decision makers are looking at your LinkedIn profile. So I'm going to give you some tips around that. And 84% of at least B2B buyers and business development folks are active on LinkedIn. So if you're not there, we definitely want to make sure that you do get there. If you are there, we're going to help you tighten up your game. You already introduced me. So what I want to cover, the 6 things where people are making mistakes and what you can do. I want to cover mindset. I want to cover building a better brand on LinkedIn and how to do that and what you really should be focused on, finding and engaging first before connecting. And then please get rid of the word automation when it comes to LinkedIn. I think LinkedIn's bad rap right now is because there are so many people out there like, ooh, you can get great leads like this if you just automate with us. And the problem is it's crap. It's absolute crap. And you know, I'll show you my inbox. You can go to your own inbox. You see the crap there.
I saw mine this morning. It was really crowded with lots of in-mails and people saying they saw something.
Yeah, and as soon as you see lead generation in their headline, you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
let's talk about how to connect like real human beings. There's a concept. And then we'll talk.
And by the way, I just want to say for folks that are joining us too, please feel free to jot any questions you have, and we'll make sure we get them to Viveka. If you got anything specific about your profile, anything about campaigns you're planning to run or thinking about running, now's the time. So sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Absolutely. I can't see anything right now except my own presentation. So I with StreamYard, but yeah, please interrupt me, and I'm going to go live for most of this. By the way, it's not you're not going to be looking at words on a PowerPoint for most of this. Cool. We want to talk about feeding your network so you can position yourself as a thought leader, as a subject matter expert, so that the content you share is relevant to your buyers' wants and needs and isn't just self-promotional jibber jabber. And then we'll talk about how to pull it all together in a cadence that works. So we actually have, ironically enough, 6 phases when we're teaching how to use LinkedIn, Sales Navigator, even social video. We bring people through 6 phases, which is mindset, branding, find and engage, connect, feed, and cadence. So, hey, what a coincidence. That's what we're going to cover today too. Okay. All right. So mindset, first of all, I mean, whether you were the boss or whether you were the employee and you heard okay, get on LinkedIn, good luck with that. Right. Or you're like, oh man, I need to get on LinkedIn. Good luck with that. That's not enough of a mindset. That's not enough buy-in, right? We have to understand why it's so important to get online virtually. So I have a whole bunch of stats. I'm not going to read them all out to you. I know we're mostly entrepreneurs here. If by chance there is someone else on your team that you have to convince that you need to be using social media, and in our case, LinkedIn, please feel free to take screenshots and share with them. Because I'm just going to share a whole bunch with you right now just to help with shift that mindset a little bit. 73% of salespeople using social selling outperform their peers and get 23% higher quota or exceed their quota, by 23%. So that right there, if you've got a sales force, you want to make sure that they're utilizing LinkedIn. If you are your sales force, then you want to make sure that you're utilizing LinkedIn. Again, 90% of top performing salespeople now use social media as part of their sales strategy. Feel free to take a screenshot. Companies with consistent social selling processes are 40% more likely to hit revenue goals. So again, for those of you who are entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, business owners listening to this, you got to be on social media, and on our part, LinkedIn. I already talked about that one. You're 7 times more likely to close a deal if you've got your content out there and you're engaging with people. Content shared by employees. This one's huge. For those of you who have employees, make sure that they're sharing content. I'm going to share a tip around that here in about 20 to 30 minutes. But content shared by employees receives 8 times more engagement than content shared by your brand channel. So
is that partly because it's organic, it's authentic, it's the person rather than...
Yeah, exactly. 100%. And I'm totally spacing who it was. Forrester. Forrester did some research, and yeah, they were looking at, especially now, especially what's been going on with politics and with the pandemic. People don't trust companies. People don't trust government. People don't trust people who are paid to say things. But if you get your employees, not just your salespeople, but your marketers, your front end people, your back end people, sharing content, they are more trustworthy and they are more likely to get engaged with. So it's really important that if you have employees, that you get those folks involved in sharing your content, like super, super important. So now
we got a question from Terry.
Yes.
We'll get there. One of his questions is, how do you do live video on LinkedIn?
Yep.
And you can either answer that now, or I know you're going to be getting to the content and actually how to activate content. So I don't want to throw you off. I did want to mention that we had a quick question from Terry.
Yeah, sure, Terry. So right now, live video, you still have to apply for it. I don't have the link up right now. If we have a little time, I'll just Google it, or Scott, you in the background can maybe Google it.
Like literally, they can Google that right now and find the link to apply. on LinkedIn and stuff, and maybe you could post that.
Yeah. Applying for LinkedIn Live. Just Google apply for LinkedIn Live. It'll take you to the LinkedIn help section that has the actual link where you can go apply for it. More and more people are getting it, which is the good news. You sometimes have to apply for it more than once. So it's not one and done, Terry. You might have to apply for it a few times. Terry, if you are already doing lives on other channels, like you use Facebook Live, Instagram Live, Twitter Live, whatever. If you're already doing lives on other channels, when you apply for LinkedIn Live, go ahead and let them know that, because they're more likely to give it to you. With LinkedIn Live, another thing is you can't do it natively. You have to use a tool like StreamYard, like we're using right now. There's a ton of great streams. Really, I need more coffee this morning. There are a lot of great tools out there that you can use for live streaming. Restream has a free version, so that might be able to help you as well. But yeah, first of all, just go ahead and apply for it. And then some tips around doing lives. Be consistent. Like we have a show that shows every Friday, and then I'm doing it live with Scott right now. It's a little bit of a one-off, but Scott's shows are consistent. So have a consistent show, have consistent branding, change it up a little bit. Sometimes have guests, sometimes do best of, you can showcase people or products or services sometimes. So you want to change it up a little bit, keep it interesting. Possibly when you're starting out, try to keep it closer to a half hour and do what Scott's doing. Although today we're going to go way over because I have so much info. And then do what Scott's doing. Have someone help you in the background. If you can get a moderator, that's going to make your life way easier when it comes to doing lives.
Excellent. Thank you.
All right. So let me see. I wanted to share some stuff around. Let me see if I can get this over here. All right. Let's see if I share this, but then, oh, that's not going to happen. Sorry, I'm used to doing Zoom. I think if I pull this guy in right now, we're going to get the share button from hell. So window. There we go. Here we go. This is what I want to do. Okay. Whew. Figured it out. All right, Scott, would you share that for me, please?
Yes, it is your email right now.
It is my email. We definitely don't. Oh, is it Fly Message though?
Oh, let's see. Yeah.
No, that's Fly Message. Okay, no, that's cool. You can share that. You can share that. I need to go back to. There we go. Okay. Yeah, this is a tool I'm going to show you in just a minute. It's called Fly Message. It's really, really cool for helping you save time. But the first thing I wanted to talk about, we already talked about mindset. Hopefully you were all, convinced that you definitely need to, let me make this screen bigger. You definitely need to be working on your brand. Nice. On your mindsets. Let me zoom in a bit. So how's it looking on the screen there, Scott?
It looks good. It looks good.
Yeah. Okay. All right, cool. All right. So the second thing is your brand, because as I said, a lot of companies said, okay, you need to get on LinkedIn. Okay. And most people just have a resume type profile on LinkedIn. Go ahead right now, go to your profile. You don't have to tell me, you don't have to put it in chat or anything, but go to your profile. And is your profile more focused on you? Is it more like a resume? Or is it a resource? Is it more focused on your buyer? So the first mistake that people make, and it's not your fault, because LinkedIn, when you're building your profile out for the first time, it literally takes you through as if you were building out a resume. But we don't want it to be a resume, because you're not necessarily looking for a job. At least I hope you're all not looking for a job. You're looking for more clients. You're looking to have more conversations with more prospects. And so your profile needs to be focused on, let me zoom in just a little bit more. Your profile needs to be more focused on your buyers and how you help your buyers. So I'm just going to show you a few things about the profile that I want you to be aware of. Let me click out of there. There we go. I want you to see just a few things. Now, number one, the first thing that people are going to see if they go to your profile, whether you're on mobile or on desktop, is your background image, your banner. So make sure that you've got a banner that is branded to your company and it speaks to your buyer. What do you help your buyer do? Right? How do you ease their point of pain? What is your solution? What does your buyer want that you provide? So for us, right, we help B2B buyers create more conversations. How do we help them do that? We help them prospect better and sell more. And what's our program? Modern Sales Mastery. I mean, it couldn't be any clearer than that. And so whether you're a solopreneur with, yourself and maybe a couple contractors, or whether you're a business owner and you've got 500 or 5,000 or 50,000 employees, you want to make sure that you've got branded background images, and you can have more than one. We've got 29 employees, I think, right now, and we've got about 5 or 6 different background images that our folks are able to upload. So we're not all the same, but they all are prospect better, sell more with Modern Sales Mastery.
And then different color palettes or something like that.
Different color palettes, yeah. In fact, we just changed all our branding over, so they really are all brand new. But here's what I would suggest to you: it's not one and done. Like, for instance, we just changed all of our branding. Oh my gosh, what a pain in the rear end that is! All of our colors, all of our fonts are different. So we create new banners every time we have a branding change. Which, okay, it's the second time in 4 years. But let's say you had a launch. So you've got a new product, you've got a new service, you've got a big event that you're speaking at or that you're hosting. You've got something that's coming up, and you want to market it out to not only just your individual audience, but all of your employees' audiences. Make use of these background images. In order to change it, all people have to do is click on the little pen, come down here, go, or what am I going to scroll down, change photo, find the photo that they want to upload. You're going to provide it to them, obviously. And then boom, you're good to go. LinkedIn also provides some background images. They're very, socially aware. But for you guys, I want you to upload background images that are focused on your buyer. So that's number one, super easy. The second thing is make sure you look like you. I'm gonna have to get another photo done. I cut all my hair off, but anyway, make sure you get a photo that looks like you, especially now that we're meeting on Zoom so often. You want to make sure that you look like you. So that's number two. Number three, and this is a big one. A lot of you probably have title at company, because when you set up your LinkedIn profile, that's what it asks for. What's your title and where do you work? This is 220 characters. And here's the formula. Who do you help? How do you help them? And Scott's done the same thing. You can see on Scott, I had you pulled up, I think over here. Oh, no, somewhere in here. I had you pulled up at one point. Oh, well, I did have you pulled up at one time. Scott's profile does the same thing. Like, who do you help? How do you help them? Let me see. There you are. Who do you help? Right? I help any business. How do you help them? Attract their dream clients. How? With a proven 8-step digital marketing and social media framework. Boom. So I want you all to think about right now, who do you help and how do you help them? I got to go to my big screen there so I can see. Who do you help and how do you help them? Because we're going to use that as a script for this other cool little thing, which is, and I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it or not. Yeah, you just go to my profile to listen to it. But this little thing here, if you pull up your mobile device, it's name pronunciation. You go into your profile and it's name pronunciation. But really, it's a 10-second super fast elevator speech. So I don't know if you're going to be able to hear it or not. Let's give it a try. Hey everyone, it's Vivica Von Rosen, Chief Visibility Officer with Ingresso, helping your B2B company create more conversations on LinkedIn. Were you able to hear that?
Yeah, I could hear it.
Cool.
It was faint, but I get it. So it's 10 seconds. And you do that, you said that you do that on your mobile device. So you do that so you pull up your LinkedIn account on your
you get the mobile app. If you don't have the LinkedIn mobile app, for sure, get it. Get the mobile app. Once you turn on the mobile app, on the top left-hand side, I turn my phone off because I get too many phone calls during presentations. Sure. But on the top left-hand side, you'll see the little picture of yourself. If you click on that, it'll say view profile. If you click on view profile, the view becomes very much like this. Yeah. And when you click on the pen, now you'll see it here, right? You'll see your audio recording. But on desktop, you can't record it. But on your phone, you'll be able to record it.
Got it.
And it's a 10-second elevator speech. And basically, if you have created your headline, which is 220 characters, saying who you help and how you help them, you'll have the script right there. Hey, this is Viveka Von Rosen at Vengreso. Okay, everyone calls me Viveka, and even Scott this morning called the company Vengroso. Everyone does. You're not alone, right? So it is a name pronunciation, Viveka Von Rosen at Vengreso. We help B2B sales professionals create more quality and qualified conversations on LinkedIn, prospect better and sell more. Boom, 10 seconds done. So your homework, should you choose to utilize it, is create this headline. Who do you help? How do you help them? And then who you are. And then use that as your script for your 10-second elevator speech. I'm going to show you one more cool thing. This is all about, there's a lot you can do below the page, but I'm going to share my book with you so you can just get it for free. And it's got 101 tips. So, I'm not going to spend all the time on that. There's one more thing you can do. And I don't know if you saw
I did see one thing I just want to share with somebody if they're trying to do this. And I want to just share this. And maybe you said this, but I had a little trouble figuring it out. So on your mobile phone, and I just figured it out. Obviously, you hit the little pencil button.
Yeah.
But then it says add name pronunciation. I mean, but that's the thing. I didn't see that. But once you hit add name pronunciation, I was looking for a little mobile thing, and then you see this. All right.
Yes.
I'm with you.
Exactly.
Very cool. Hold it and record a thing. Would you recommend doing the same script, who you help and how you help them with that?
100%. Say who you are. Hey, this is Viveka Von Rosen at Vengreso. We help B2B. We help B2B salespeople create more quality conversations on LinkedIn or whatever I said. Right.
Great.
Yep. As long as you can get it within 10 seconds. You cannot do 11 seconds. They will not let you.
It's impossible. All right. Got it. Thank you so much.
Bonus to what you'll notice up here on the top of my profile right now is our live. That's one of the bonuses of actually having LinkedIn Live, is it actually plays on your profile in the headline section now. So it's kind of cool. Okay. So, and it automatically transcribes as well. Okay. So the other thing I want to show you though is what I call the Harry Potter effect. There's something called video cover stories, and you might see profiles with this orange ring around it. Why I call it the Harry Potter effect. Let me go back to LinkedIn again. Let me go to my profile here somewhere. Why I call it the Harry Potter effect is because when you go to the profile, what you'll see the little green me, like all of a sudden I'm talking. That had nothing to do with LinkedIn Live. That's called video cover stories. So again, stay on your mobile device because you can only record them the first time on your mobile device. Do you have an orange plus sign?
So wait, where do I go? Where do I go? Start from the
same place. Mobile device. Go to your profile. Mobile device. Go to your profile. You should have an orange plus sign on your picture.
On my picture. Oh yeah, I do. Yes.
Okay. That orange plus sign is you can create a 30-second, do it in vertical. You can create a 30-second commercial. So again, I'm just going to play mine for you.
Oh, I see. And there's a little video icon that says, add cover story, blah, blah, blah.
Exactly. And I'll pause myself. That cover story is a 30-second commercial. So
I love that.
And you can use that script. Who do you help? How do you help them? Right. So now we're taking one thing and we're using it in a bunch of different places. And all of this is above the fold. And all of this will take you less than a half hour, other than your background image. Hire someone or have a marketing team do that for you.
Got it.
Doing that 10-second video, 10-second audio introduction and 30-second video should not take you too long. So this is what plays when you go to my profile. I won't start it from the beginning. Here we go. No problem. My name is Viveka Von Rosen. I'm co-founder and chief visibility officer with Vengreso, the world's largest digital sales transformation company, and author of 101 Ways to Rock LinkedIn. And we can help you and your sales team create more quality, qualified conversations using our new modern sales mastery program. Click below to find out more. So there you go. It's just an expansion, right, of what I have here. So I get to say what my name is, who I work for, what we do at Vengresso, and then expand upon how we help people. Plus, I have my free offer, right? So think about it as a 30-second commercial / elevator speech pitch, but it's all based on who I help and how I help them.
Love it. We have a leadership client who does a lot of leadership. He's written a book. That would be a great opportunity for him to just introduce himself. And he's got an offer to grab his book for free and be a great opportunity. It's all in leadership. Love it. Really, really cool. And obviously the goal is for any salesperson to build relationships with people. What better way to build relationships than do it audibly, visually, and all the normal ways you do it in person, but take advantage of the technology to do it. So really cool.
Awesome. And then to that point, if you've got a book, right? This is my book right here. So if you've got a book, if you have a free offer, you could say, check it out in the featured section below. And then you just come here and you add it to your featured section just by hitting the little plus. You can add a link, you can upload a PDF, you can share articles, you can share posts that you've already done on LinkedIn. So all of those are opportunities for you to drive traffic right from LinkedIn for absolutely free. Everything I'm showing you today is part of free LinkedIn.
I love this. And was this actually a post you did, or did you do this just for featured? Because it looks like you've got the option to do both.
Yeah. These are both posts that I had done previously, but I've also over here, I've also just uploaded things before. So here I just uploaded some Vengresso assets. And then if you come in to see all, you can see a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, there's just a ton of free things. And I just, there's the book again. All opportunities for you to drive traffic.
David Meerman Scott.
Yeah, my buddy.
Yeah.
Yep, exactly.
Love it.
So all opportunities, to share helpful, useful information to your buyers, to promote yourself as a thought leader, as an industry expert, to put yourself next to famous people, all the examples are in there in my featured section.
Love it.
All right.
And it looks like you've even taken advantage, and maybe you're going to talk about this now. It looks like you've even taken advantage of something at the top here that's really cool.
You mean the live?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying to Tyler is if you're able to get live, what's really cool is once you go live, it shows on top of your profile, whether you have it on the company page or your personal profile. It's automatic. There's nothing I did. There's a couple second delay you can see here, but it's going live right now, which is pretty interesting if people are just flipping through profiles and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, what's going on there? Yeah. It also makes it way easier to find lives.
Yeah. That's really cool.
Cool. And it's the only way I can see what's going on because right now I'm blinded by StreamYard. All right, let's talk about the next thing. I mentioned before, too many people, right? They get on LinkedIn, maybe they work on their profile, maybe they don't, but then they start reaching out. Like if you look at your inbox right now, you're probably going to see a lot of spam there. You're going to see a lot of people inviting you to connect. And it's pretty spammy, especially the ones that, done for you. Sorry, Margaret. But, all of this lead generation, automated lead generation, let me get leads for you. They're all using LinkedIn. They're using automated LinkedIn. And this is where I'm going to get on my soapbox. It drives me insane because it's giving LinkedIn a bad reputation and it could shut down your account. Never mind the company that's using these 100% automation tools. They're not going to shut that. Well, actually LinkedIn has been shutting those companies down, but LinkedIn's also going to shut down your account. And you don't even know that you're doing something wrong. So try and stay away from automation. Quality is better than quantity on LinkedIn, right? And so the next step is not connect. It's not build out your profile and then start connecting with everybody. It is build out your profile and start engaging. So let's just say that Scott was a prospect of mine. I'm not going to come right to Scott's profile, come down here. Well, we're already connected. Oh, no, we're not yet. Why aren't we connected? All right. I'm not going to come right here and connect and say, yo, connect with me, dude. I want to sell you something. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go to his profile. I'm going to see if he shared any content. Obviously, he has. He's a content creator. I'm going to go down to his activity section. I'm going to go check out his activity and his posts. I'm going to read through a couple of his posts. I'm going to like a couple of his posts. I'm going to comment on a couple of his posts. Now, do a happy dance if your lead is actually sharing content. Not all of them are, but I'm going to lightly stalk. You don't want to be creepy, but I'm going to lightly stalk my prospect, and I'm going to engage with their content maybe a couple times a week until I feel like I've built kind of top of mind awareness with them. And so Scott, like if I was going to, I'll go ahead and like this one since it's, me. I'm not only going to like it, I'm going to say, looking forward to the show at Scott. And then I'm going to mention my person just by putting the @ sign in there. The person who posted should be the first one who shows up. By @ mentioning Scott, that then goes into his notifications. Right. And that's what builds that top of mind awareness. Now, a lot of us are going to conferences and trade shows again, but some of us are not. And so this is kind of the hanging out in the networking area of the trade show or the conference, right?
And I think this is so interesting because I think about this. We go to conferences, and if we're actively promoting our business and trying to make connections, we go to the breakfast, we go to the lunches, we go to the dinners, and imagine how much more, and then we get stuck in conversations,
right?
Sometimes with people that aren't necessarily who we're there to talk to, but we don't want to be rude. But this is such a great way to actually connect with a dozen dream customers over a cup of coffee in the morning before you start your day.
100%. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're connecting, you're building that face name recognition, right? The more Deborah engages on my content, the more I'm going to be like, oh yeah, Deborah. And even if I don't remember where I saw Deborah's name, I still have that positive sentiment. That's what we're doing. We're building positive sentiment by engaging with our prospects before reaching out to engage. And then of course, if you see that your prospect has looked at your profile, right? So you've been engaging with their content, you go back to your profile, you check every day to see who's viewed your profile. And if you see that your prospect has viewed your profile, well, here's an awesome opportunity. Let's just say, Angela was one. Hopefully you're on the call today. Angela is one of my prospects. Now here is my oh, she's already invited me to connect. Cool. Here's my opportunity. If she hadn't sent me an invitation to connect, for me to go and invite her to connect and say, hey, I noticed you viewed my profile. Love Laudable, love what you're sharing. I see that you and I both know Trisha. Would you like to connect? And you're referencing, they've already showed interest. You've earned the right by engaging with them coming back and engaging with you. You've earned the right to send that invitation to connect. But before that, you're just some spammer in their inbox, right? Before that, you're just, okay, thank you. Thank you, Angela. I'll connect. Before that, you're just some spammer in the inbox.
I love that too, because I think you can predispose. There was a great book that was written called Persuasion by Dr. Robert Cialdini. And never was it more powerful. On LinkedIn, I was going to visit an event manager at Kia, and she was notoriously a very, very tough buyer. And I was a little bit nervous about the meeting. Everybody told me how tough she was. As I walked down the hallway and turned into the conference room, she looked at me and she says, oh my gosh, I've seen your LinkedIn videos. I've seen some of the stuff you're doing. And she just immediately had this smile that just was a game changer. And I'd had a chance to meet her before I met her.
Exactly. You build that KLT, that know, like, and trust factor. It's not rocket science. But the problem is people try to be too formulaic, or they try to automate their engagement. And that can ruin your brand. But step back a little bit, spend a little bit time with your buyer, with your prospect, with your prospect's profile. build that top of mind awareness with them, and they're going to be a lot more likely to accept the invitation to connect, which takes me to the next thing I wanted to talk about, connecting. And Angela did it 100% right? She customized the invitation. She told me why she wants to connect, or at least said, I'm flattered, right? She enjoyed my piece on showcasing company culture. Of course, I'm going to connect with her. She also is a buyer. So cool. Of course, I'm going to accept that invitation to connect. But the problem is you get too many people who either don't customize the invitation, then I don't know who they are, or when they customize the invitation, it's a little bit too salesy. So you always, when you're inviting someone to connect, you always want to customize it with a message. So when I go to Scott's profile, right? We're not connected yet for some reason. I guess he just didn't accept my invitation. That's fine.
No.
I'm always, before I hit connect, I always want to send a message. Oops. Yeah, I always want to send a message. And what we were looking at earlier, Fly Message, it's a free tool. I'll get this for you guys too. It's just flymsg.io. It's a free auto text expander tool. And so what you all were looking at earlier, I have built out a ton of replies to people who have invited me to connect. So I did a Content Marketing World this morning. So that's my response to people who invite me to connect on Content Marketing World. But I can create all of these ahead of time. And then it's just a matter of adding typing in a few little letters, and I can very quickly populate. This isn't automation because I'm still looking at every invitation. I'm still looking at every individual, but I can
make sure I understand this. So Fly Message is an application that allows you to customize your response when people are connecting with you. Is that right?
Yeah. Not just when people are connecting to you, anywhere online. So let me, anywhere online. Let me pop this into chat. Oh, I don't know how to pop it into chat I will get this to Scott, and Scott can get it, or maybe someone on Scott's team. It's just flymsg.io or vengresso.com/fly message. Also, you can get my book for free here. But what it is an auto text expander.
Got it.
So it's a free auto text expander on steroids. So what we teach. So we teach large B2B sales teams how to sell on LinkedIn, right? And we have these huge playbooks full of all kinds of scripts that they can then customize and utilize with their clients. But then we were thinking, oh my gosh, it's such a pain in the butt. They've got these huge scripts. They have to customize them all, and then they have to copy and paste them into some other, some other text expander tool. Wouldn't it be easier if we just had our own text expander? So we did. We created our own text expander, and we're like, okay, now wouldn't it be cool if it had all these other features too that we really wish text expanders had, but they don't? So we added the ability to do rich text, images, special fonts, and we show
video too, I think.
Video, exactly, video, and then different ways of categories, so you could parse them out into different categories. So yeah, if check it out, it's free. You guys get it free. What you'll see in there, we've got all the latest templates for you. We call them fly plates. We've got all the latest templates for you, and then you can from there start creating your own templates. With our clients, we add all the templates. But
I love that. Maybe Rishab, maybe you could post that in the comments.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Yeah, he's got it. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. This is really cool. Okay.
Cool. So going back to connecting, when you connect, please spend some time with your prospect, right? Go to their profile, see what they're up to, see if they're sharing content. If they're sharing content, awesome. If they're not, which Kristen is. So I can go in there, I can check out Kristen's content. I can see what she's doing. I can ask her questions all publicly before I ever invite her to connect. Now she happens to be a client, but before I invite her connect, I can do all of those things. And then she's a lot more likely to accept the invitation, which then brings me back to make sure that you're customizing your invitations. And then here's a little ninja trick for people who've invited you to connect. Most of them will be spam, but once in a while, for the people who invited you to connect, there will be some magic in there. And so you can't respond to them. I did that too quickly. Let me go back here. You can't respond to them until you click on see all. So right here, I can respond to Angela because she customized the invitation. But Carl, Darren, I can't respond to them. See, there's no like, I can only accept, but I don't want to accept. I want to find out more about Carl. I want to find out more about Darren first. So the ninja trick is come up here on the top right, go to see all. And once you, and then LinkedIn hates me. So you get that. So once you go to see all, there we go. Now, see, I went from not being able to message Carl. Now I can message Carl. So what I would recommend, some of these people will be spam. You're just going to ignore it. But some of the folks, you might be like, okay, he didn't customize his invitation to me, but he does look, or she does look like they might be a good prospect. So you can always message them. And again, this is where Fly Message comes in. I've got a whole bunch of different messages already created. And then once I go and see who the individual is, I can go, okay, they might be a prospect. I'm going to send the message that, thanks for inviting me to connect. Tell me more about yourself. Here's a definite prospect. Thanks for inviting me to connect. I'm happy to connect. Here's some free stuff. Here's like, thanks for inviting me to connect. I've hit my 30,000 foot. How am I not? Oh my goodness. I've hit my 30,000 foot limit. And I'd love to connect, but I can't, but hey, you can still message me here. So I've got different messages depending on who they are, who's inviting me to connect.
Got it. Quick question.
Yeah.
Well, there's one question that came in. I just would ask that they clarify it. I just want to make sure I'm asking the right question. Somebody on Facebook said, would this work on a phone? And I'm not sure I understand the question.
Yes.
Maybe
that
that
could work on your phone too. Exactly. Okay. In fact, if I remember correctly, on the phone, you don't have to take that extra step. I could be remembering that wrong. LinkedIn just updated their app, but if I remember correctly, at least in the past, you didn't even have to take that extra step. It was all, you could already message them there. If not, click on the see all numbers. And if that doesn't work, go back to your browser. But if I remember correctly on the phone, you didn't have to take the extra step.
Got it.
They may or may not have changed that.
Okay. All right. And one other question.
Yeah.
Can you talk a little bit about creator mode if you have time and relevant to today's topic?
Yes. In fact, that was kind of where I was going to go next.
Okay.
So, the next thing that you want to do after you connect with people is feed them information. Continue to feed them information. So LinkedIn has this cool new feature called creator mode. Now, they said it's going to get your content more visibility. That's not necessarily true. At least we haven't found that it's true. But what creator mode does, which might be interesting to you, if you turn it on, it is going to pull your content up higher, your featured content up higher above the other stuff in your profile. It's going to pull your activity and the content that you're sharing up a little bit higher. It also allows you to add 5 hashtags. And when you use these hashtags in your content, so remember what they are and then use them. When you use these hashtags in your content, it gets them a little bit more visibility as well. Now it's not a downside to me, but one of the downsides of creator mode is it changes the connect button to a follow button. So I'm already at my 30,000 person limit. I'm already getting a ton of spam. I will, if you customize, like if you watch this show today and you want to connect, absolutely, please invite me. Just let me know that you saw me on Scott's show. If you're not so concerned about connecting with people, you just want people to follow you and follow your content, then creator mode is great because it pulls up a follow key instead of a connect key. That being said, they can always come to the more and invite you to connect. But creator mode does change connect to follow. So if you're in sales, you're like, maybe not. But if you're a content creator, then this might definitely be something that you want to consider. So that's a little bit about creator mode. There's some more, but that's in my humble opinion, those are the important things as far as creator mode. So yeah, if you're a creator, you might definitely consider doing that. Speaking of creator, and I know we're running out of time, but I also I wanted to show you As far as creating and prospecting,
forgive me. There was a I'm at the message template extension. Does that work on the phone?
No. Good question. Not yet. We're working on it. So right now, thank you. Great question. FlyMessage is just a Chrome extension. I should have clarified that. At this time, FlyMessage is just a Chrome extension. We are developing an app, and we are developing other extensions for like Edge and for Safari and for Foxfire. Or however they do that. I don't know. That's not part of my job at the company. All I know is that we are developing all of that, but right now it's only a Chrome extension. Thank you very much for that question. There are ways that you can, within your phone, there's auto text replacements inherent, whether you have an Android or an iPhone. It's built into the general settings section.
Got it.
Yeah. Great question. We cover all of this actually in our online program, but I only have an hour today, so thank you for that question. All right, I wanted to show you. So the fifth thing that we do is feed your network, right? So once you've done your research, you've started engaging with your connections, you've invited them to connect, they've looked at your profile, they're like, oh yeah, that person is there to help me, woohoo! And they've accepted your invitation to connect. You want to continue to feed them with content. Now, one of the very, very cool things that LinkedIn recently, by recently, I mean like 2 years ago, but fairly recently came out with is polls. And there's a couple different reasons why polls are so awesome. Number one, they're relatively new, so LinkedIn is promoting them. Like most of my content gets between like 500 and maybe 1,500 views. If I'm lucky, 2,000 to 3,000 views. But this poll, which I literally put together in 5 minutes, got 31,000 views. Right? So yay. Now, I'm not saying you'll get this many views on all your polls, but they will get more visibility. The second reason polls are great is you can ask a question where whatever the poll answer is becomes an opportunity for you to reach out and connect with these individuals. So when you're creating a poll on LinkedIn, think about a question you can ask where the answer, whether it's yes, no, or maybe, or if the answer in this case is, actual answers to the poll question, any answer becomes an opportunity to start a conversation. Because here's what happens when people answer your polls, you can go into those answers. So these poll answers are separated by the different, the different responses, right?
So you can go into each one of these things and message somebody specifically on how they answer the question.
Exactly. Now, if they're a second level connection, I'd have to either send an email or just mention them in the comments and say, hey, Brian, thanks for, hey, at Brian Lambert, thanks for your response on my poll. Would love to connect. Or I could go straight to Brian's profile, right? Come down here. Here's the follow more. He's got creator mode that I was just talking about. Here's the follow more. But I can still come down to more. I can still invite him to connect. And when I connect, I can still add a note. I can still customize the message and say, hey, at Brian, or I don't have to use that. Imagine, hey, Brian, thanks so much for responding to my poll the other day. I noticed that you said blah, blah, blah. Would love to talk more about that. Let's connect. As long as it's for 300 characters.
Yeah.
So it's a way to create visibility, position yourself as an expert and start conversations with your buyers.
I love that, because also there seems to be, maybe it's the wrong word, but an arbitrage opportunity when anytime a platform introduces a new tool and they get behind it, or a feature and they get behind it, they give you a ton of free traffic on top of what you normally get. So it's such a great way, because it answers the one key question a lot of people have is, when I get on LinkedIn, what do I talk about? And then two, if I'm only getting 1 or 2 likes per comment, I'm not really hitting anybody. This is a great way to get behind something that LinkedIn will help them reach more people.
Exactly. Lives right now, although they're trying with lives, they're still not getting great visibility, but lives but polls are what we're finding right now is getting the most engagement on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And then to wrap it all together,
easy to engage with.
Yeah, exactly. And to wrap it all together, create a cadence. Like, just do a little bit every day. Like, literally put it into your calendar. like you do the gym. Because if you're like me, if I don't have my walks and my weightlifting like in my calendar, it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
It's too cold, it's too wet, I'm too busy. So you have to get it into your calendar in order, and then just plan. You don't have to do an hour a day. I know. So when Wiley asked me to write that book, LinkedIn Marketing an Hour a Day, that was the name of the series, is Facebook Marketing an Hour a Day, Twitter Marketing an Hour a Day, LinkedIn Marketing an Hour a Day. That was the name of the series. We had to go with it. I'm like, oh, no one has an hour a day yet, until you start using it really effectively. And then you do have an hour a day because you're getting leads and you're talking to leads and you're engaging with leads. And then you're like, oh, I have all the time in the world for LinkedIn because it's working for you. But even if you just start out 15 minutes a day, just create a checklist of things you need to do. And, based on what we talked about today, maybe. And then once you have that checklist, just 15 minutes a day, but make sure you do it every day. And yeah, if you download the mobile device, it's even easier.
And something, and maybe this is a way to frame it, and correct me if I'm wrong, if you disagree. One of my business coaches said, how much time are you spending on new business every day and every week? And when I answered the question, it was far below what he rightfully said I should be spending. I'm spending so much time on operations, so much time on all these different things. How much are you spending on real business?
Yeah.
On new business. And if you think about it, an hour a day, connecting with your ideal clients, engaging with your ideal clients, what better KPI is there than, an hour is not too much. I mean, it should be like brushing our teeth. It's
and if you can combine it with your exercise, even better.
Yeah.
Because you got the mobile app, you can walk, you can treadmill, you can elliptical and LinkedIn at the same, and do a lot of your LinkedIn at the same time. So I'm learning Spanish right now, and I can't just sit there and learn Spanish. I have to do it while I'm doing something else. So just multitask. It's okay.
Yeah. How would you respond? This is actually a really good question. This is more of a comment, but Robert suggested Indeed.
Yes.
LinkedIn Live events are a pretty tricky tool to use. Live streaming for business growth. What would be your reaction to that?
100%. Yeah, I think the reason they didn't make it available to everybody is it's way trickier than people realize. A couple reasons why it's tricky. And hey, Robert, you're 100% right. First of all, you have to use a third-party app. So it's not like where you could just go live from Insta. You have to use a third-party app. Now, most of the third-party apps do have mobile versions, so you can stream from Restream, you can stream from StreamYard's mobile app. I find that a huge pain in the butt, and so you almost have to be in front of your computer, number one. Number two, you want to make sure that you have a decent studio, that you have decent lighting, that you have decent cameras, that you have decent mics. So while you can stream live without a studio, which, by the way, thank you, COVID, because now all of that's a lot cheaper. But you can, well, for a while it was like way more expensive, and now they overproduced, and now it's cheaper for all this stuff. But you can get, you can use the camera on your computer. Certainly you can get pretty cheap mics, green screens. Well, I'm not using one right now, but green screens are cheap, and lighting is pretty cheap too. But you want to take the extra time to do that. The hardest part, and what I ended up having to do, and what Scott's doing, is finding somebody other than your dog. Hey, Cal, you're a good boy, but you're not a very good moderator. Is finding someone to help you in the background. Maybe, as an entrepreneur, especially if you're a solopreneur, maybe you don't have the budget for that. So get together with your buddy who also wants to live stream and help each other out. Get an intern, get your daughter, get your son, get your grandpa, maybe not your grandpa, but get someone who can help you moderate, because trying to manage the different screens, trying to manage the Q&A session, trying to manage the comments in all of the different, in all of the different platforms at once is kind of difficult. So it's not super easy. Also, you want to be consistent. You want to have a show. Think TV, right? You want to have a weekly show. And then it takes time to prep for that. I think Chom, who does our show, and Felipe now we just brought on, I think they spend a couple hours every week as far as, getting guests, getting the right information to the guests, getting all the social out, promoting all the social stuff, and then getting all the assets ready for the show itself. So they're spending, our team is spending a couple hours just doing that. So it's not like, woo, cool, get on there and you're going to be awesome.
Right. But there's, I forget who it was. It was one of the sales experts, and he said, one of the most important things, obviously, is when you're trying to grow your business, the most important KPI he tracked is being in the presence of his ideal customers.
Amen.
And so even the fact of putting together a show, dropping a link in your email database and sending out an email, letting everybody know that you have on Viveka, who's going to be talking about LinkedIn, is a great opportunity to just remind people of what you do, who you are, and continue to bring value. And again, you're in the presence of your potential customers, adding value. And what a great way to do that.
Yeah, and let's pile on that. So we do something called ABP, account-based podcasting. And so now consider using your live as an opportunity to interview your prospects. Now you've got an hour with your prospect, right? Or however long you want your half hour, however long you want your show to be. You have a half hour with your prospect where you get to develop a relationship and they get to learn a little bit more about you and you get to learn a lot more about them. It makes total sense then to go to the next step and like, hey, thank you so much for being on our podcast the other week. By the way, you want to use Vengresso for your digital sales transformation needs. So account-based podcasting is another, or live streaming in this case, is something else to consider. Or you have a client and you want to promote them for that win-win situation. So like this Friday, I'm bringing on Shane with BitGlass, who's a client of ours right now. Love him. He's got so much to share with his audience about what he's doing and his experience as a salesperson. So now I've got a guest, he's got a new audience, and it's just a total win-win situation for both of us. Plus, we're going to be able to pull out little snippets of that video. So, bonus number 3, you've got hour or a half hour or 15 minutes of content, but you can pull out little 5 minutes bits here and there and create more content from it. Right. So you've got your Thanksgiving dinner, as my friend Jason used to say, you got your Thanksgiving dinner, but you can pull out you could use the turkey later for sandwiches, for stuffing, etc. So there's a lot of benefit. Plus, if you're doing a live, and depending on what we're using, StreamYard, I can take the audio and now turn that into a podcast. So there's so much you can do with a live, but don't think you're going to get on and it's going to be super easy and super fast. It's not. But the benefit, the value, the KPI, to Scott's point, of a live is absolutely huge. And yes, what if you happen to be going live and one of your ideal clients asks a question? You're immediately having a conversation and building up that KLT, that know, like, trust with your buyer.
I love that. And 2 things, Owen and Karen just were asking the question, hey, unfortunately, I couldn't chime in until halfway through. Was this recorded for replay? As well as Karen. And so I wanted to say to both of them, and tying your point together, yes, it was recorded for replay. So it'll be on LinkedIn, it'll be on Facebook, and it'll be on a couple of different channels, but it'll be recorded. And to your point, if you missed the first half, we're going to be editing some of the key nuggets you talked about. Like, you had gold in here. I just made of notes about like 6 things I could do. I mean, you talked about 6 things we should be doing with our LinkedIn profiles, but I made 6 notes about what I could do with just my profile my profile, getting set up for success. So Karen and Owen, we've got gems for you. Take a look at the recording. It'll be recorded and it'll be on the different groups, on the pages. And we'll also be editing some pieces up to get out to everybody. Just that you shared so many nuggets. So I can't thank you enough. In closing, two things I want to ask. Yeah. Viveka, where can people learn more? And then Rishab, what we'll do is somebody on our team is going to copy and write down the links, any links that you provide. Any final piece of advice for small business owners, for people in sales, people in professional services that want to reach more people and generate more leads on LinkedIn?
Yeah, sure. So I'll start with the easy. If you want to connect with me, like, literally just type LinkedIn expert into Google. My LinkedIn profile should be the first or second thing that shows up. Or you can, look at my name, Viveka Von Rosen, VIVEKA VON ROSEN. If you Google that, you'll find me, no problem. Or you can go to Vengresso,
There's not 2 or 3 Vivica von Rosens.
Yeah. There's my grandmother, but she's passed. So I think we're good. So it's easy to find me. As I mentioned, and if you came in too late, please just customize. I'm at my 30,000 person limit. So please just customize the invitation to connect with me, or you can message me for free on LinkedIn and just say, hey, I was on I listened to your live, would want to connect. So more than happy to do that. I will. And if you do that, then when I respond, I'll use Fly Message and send you some resources that we talked about today. So definitely feel free to reach out, connect with me. My final words of advice are almost always the same. Be human, do unto others. You don't like to get spammed, don't spam other folks. You like people to think that you're human. Yeah, human. This is one of the books I just contributed to. Human-centered communication. Be human. It's not a numbers game. It's a quality over quantity. Go in, take the time to learn about your connections on LinkedIn. Take the time to actually manually, physically engage with them. That's what starts communication. That's what starts conversation. And that's what will help your business. All this automation crap, that's going to hurt your business, at least on LinkedIn.
I love that. Thank you, Vivica, so much for your time today. Really, we got tons of good stuff. I've got action items for myself. I've got action items for my clients, and really, I can't thank you enough. You'll see at the bottom, there's your the LinkedIn link. If you want to learn more about Vivica, please connect with her. If you want to learn more about some of the things that we're doing and putting into the courses and some speaking opportunities, go to scottepperingham.com. And you can learn more about our course, about our free workshops, social media workshops that cover the full breadth of setting up a campaign, launching a campaign, optimizing a campaign. And thank you so much, Vivica, for your time. And everybody that wrote in, and Tawny, Karen, Owen, Robert, we had a ton of different questions. So thank you. And Terry, and all the different awesome questions. Thank you for all the great questions.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thank you. See you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.